Hey, what's going on, everybody? Echoside Fiend here, back once again, and jumping up on here to do my annual Welcome to October video. But of course, it's a week late. Of course, October 1st was last Saturday, but I was out of town last Saturday, the whole weekend. So we'll be getting to that, why I was out of town. But so this is just the first time I had to sit down and do it. I was going to try to do it last Wednesday, and Monday they asked me to, at my work, they asked me if I would be willing to work Wednesday. So I volunteered. We're super short-handed again. It's just kind of a regular thing, but we had a guy get fired a couple weeks ago. We had a guy quit. We've got at least two people that I'm aware of off with COVID. So I volunteered to work last Wednesday. Of course, like I said, we get a nice bonus for it. I'm scheduled for this Wednesday again, just to cover for a guy that's on vacation. So, yep, this is just the first time I had to sit down and do it. So, but as always, I'm just excited for October to be here. Of course, I do all my fun things, everything I've got planned, all the, watching horror movies, pumpkin carving, all that good stuff. I just love it. I know I've talked about it a million times, but how much I love this time of year. Halloween has always been my favorite, I guess you could say, holiday, pretty much as far back as I can remember. And I'm always looking forward to this time of year and just excited for it to be here. So, but yeah, we're gonna be going probably next Friday. My roommate and her boyfriend, and we usually have a couple other people join us. Probably next Friday going for to pick out pumpkins. We always go to Ed Dunaback and Daughter's Farm out here in Grand Rapids. It's in the north end of town, and that's the place they have just this huge country store that's built in like a pole barn. And when I say huge too, it's still like it kind of got that small town feel. I mean, it's just like in a big pole barn. And they have a bakery in there, and they of course carry all your cider, apples, all the other stuff that they grow, and just a cool place. A couple of years ago, they built a bar in the back of it and have a brewery in there. I believe the brewery is down in the bottom of the barn, and then the pole barn, and then was it just last year? I think, or maybe the year before, they built another addition onto it. I believe I talked about this in my video last year, but they built an addition onto it that's like literally like kind of like a restaurant style seating, but like the whole front of the thing still opens like a garage door and shit. So they'll just have it open, and so cool. So we go there, get our pumpkins, have a couple beers. Like they just open, like I said, they open kind of a small, kind of a restaurant, but just limited menu, but still good food, homemade right there. So I'll have a bite to eat. And the last couple of years, it has been fucking busy as shit too. So we were gonna try to go today, but oddly enough, they close at 5, which is kind of odd. But you'd think this time of year they'd just be slammed and they would stay open. But so we're gonna shoot for next Friday. They are open till 9 on Fridays. So as long as my roommate's boyfriend is available, he does have some other stuff that usually goes on Friday, but he said he can probably scooch that aside and come and join us. So we'll probably be doing that next Friday. So definitely excited about that. I love doing that every year. I love going out into the north end there. It's up in the country, not too far from my work, but it's pretty cool. So we always do that. So of course, I always try to do any horror movies I can do. My buddy Rob, he does 31 days of horror at his place. He does a horror movie every night. I don't have the time for that, but I try to get in as much as I can. So last night, though, me and Rob, who I just mentioned, and our friend Jordan, we actually went to Muskegon, which is where my route is, and we went to the Getty Drive-In. It's a drive-in theater, and it's been there for years, like years and years. I mean, I went to it when I was like 19 or 20 with a girl I was dating, and I've been there a few other times, but it's been years since I've been there. And I drive by it every Friday on my route, but so we went there last night, and they showed the original 1978 Halloween on one of the screens, and it was like $5. Normally their tickets are like $20, but because it was just like a rerun or whatever you want to say of an old movie, it was $5. So we went to that, and what's really cool is at that theater, I don't know if this is standard. It might be for all drive-in theaters now, but you just tune in on your car stereo. And instead of like, they used to have to put the speakers in the window, which I've been to those a few times too. But this one, you just tune in on your radio, and and then of course it plays over the speakers, obviously. And Rob has a fucking killer sound system in his car. He's got a Jeep Patriot, And so he was like, I'll drive, and then we can have this fucking killer ass system. So that was fucking cool. And of course, you're not supposed to bring alcohol, but of course, we snuck a few beers in with us, and they don't know. But so yeah, so we went out and watched that. And then during this next week and probably the next weekend, I'm going to watch Halloween 2018 and then Halloween Kills. And then Halloween Ends comes out, I believe, next week. So be all caught up for that. And then, of course, the new Hellraiser just came out yesterday. So I'm going to watch that. I might watch it tonight. I'm hanging out with a girl that I've been kicking it with. She digs horror movies. That one might be a little bit extreme for her. I don't know. But we'll watch either that tonight, or I always watch Sleepy Hollow every year, the Johnny Depp, Tim Burton movie. And I just picked that up just a week or so ago. I picked it up on Amazon Digital. I've got the Blu-ray. I've got it on DVD and Blu-ray, but I figured it'd just be kind of easier to have it on my phone. And then when I was buying it, I also saw the original Craft from the 1996, from 1996, not the remake, the original one. And it was on there too, and it was like $3. So I picked that up too, because I love that fucking movie. I know it's kind of a teen movie, but there's a lot of good memories attached to it. Me and one of my really good friends, one of the first times we hung out, we went and saw that, so. And then I ended up going and seeing it one more time too with a girl that I was seeing or dating or whatever at that time. So there's a lot of good memories attached to it, and I just think it's a good movie. I like it. I know it's kind of hokey and it's a product of its time, but I really like it. So I'm gonna try to get that in this week or this month, I should say. And then of course, whenever I'm just sitting around, sometimes I'll just dig through Netflix or all the other streaming crap that I have and just find something I haven't seen or something I haven't seen in a while. So love doing all that. Of course, listening to all the music that I love. I love going for walks this time of year. And I'll just throw on my headphones. I always try to listen to the entire Typo Negative discography around this time of year. And so I'm already a couple albums in on that. Of course, I always like throwing on ICP, Twisted, Zool, all that kind of stuff while I'm taking a walk. And I just love going walking on like nature trails, seeing all the leaves change and all that stuff. I just love it. So already done that a couple times, and I'll still be doing that for the rest of the month. And of course, leads all up to my 2-week vacation that I've been doing every year for the past few years. I've been taking 2 weeks off and going to Hollowicked every year, of course. And of course, this year going to Bloody Sunday. And I'm going to still try to stop into Fright Fest, because that's always been my tradition, was Fright Fest and Hollowicked. But of course, doing Bloody Sunday this year. But I'll probably still just grab a ticket and pop into Fright Fest just to say that I was there. So, but yep, having the 2 weeks off, that's always cool, because then I cram in a bunch of stuff. That's when I usually go to the haunt. Past few years too, when Miss Hollywood comes over and stays at our friend Ivory's, I'll pick her up one night and we'll go to the haunt. And so we did that last couple of years. Did we do it last year? I forget if we did or not. We had to. I'm sure we did. But anyway, though, of course, during the pandemic, it was all fucked up. But so I didn't get in that year. But they did have it still. But it was all just, you had to sit in your car and wait to be called, and there was no guarantee that you'd get in and all that stuff. So I passed on it that year. But yeah, we went last year. I remember now, and it all just blurs together. So we already got plans I'm going to take her to that when she gets out here. That Monday, the very first Monday of my vacation, I already got an appointment to get a tattoo on this arm. I'm going to be getting Nosferatu. There's a very famous picture. I'll throw it in here, actually. The picture when he's standing on the ship. And you can see all the rope work and everything behind him. And the guy I've been going to, I've already sent him a picture. He's got it all drawn up. So we're doing it on the first Monday. It'll be on this arm. And I was talking to him since I've been going to him. On this arm, I actually didn't show this before. This is supposed to be a lot more done. This is my Michael Myers tattoo. And I know I talked about this. I've had it for a little over a year now. The guy who did this, he did all my other stuff. He did my ICP one down here. He did all of these. He did the Hatchet Man, everything. Just fucking disappeared on me. Just like he did this. I paid him for it in full. And this is all supposed to be all filled in. And it was still supposed to come down to about here. We had some more work to do on it. And he just fucking ghosted me. And I mean, like all this other stuff he did, I don't understand why he just, and I know what shop he works at. I could go in there and throw him under the bus, but he's got a family and shit. And if he can live with ripping off somebody who had become a friend, we were talking about, he was talking about joining us for Hollowicked. Blink 182 was supposed to be playing in Lansing before the pandemic, and he wanted to go to that with me and my buddy Rob. And so we were becoming friends, and for him to just do that, I'm like, that's whatever. If he can live with it, fuck him. So the guy who I've been going to did my Dark Lotus tattoos, and he did this. He said he'll finish this up for me. I'll have to pay him for it, but he's like, I'll give you a good deal. So not doing that right away, but he is going to finish that, and then there'll be Nosferatu on this arm, and planning on having it from about here to about here. And that'll be all just in like black and gray, black and like grayscale. So doing that the first Monday, so I'm super excited about that because Nosferatu is one of my favorite movies of all time. And the original, I'm talking I'm sure there's a remake out there, but I'm talking the original silent film. If you haven't seen it, I will link up in the credits. This is on YouTube. There is a version of it, the original version, all dubbed over with typo negative music, and it's fucking amazing. I'll throw that in the description here. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And it's official too. It was put out by like Roadrunner, I believe. So anyway, yep. Obviously, Hallowicked, the crown jewel of the month, and super excited about that. I'm excited about that Bloody Sunday show. Just wondering what they're gonna do, and so yep, that's pretty much the usual. Just super excited for October, Halloween. I love it. I can't wait, and that's about really all I can say about that. So I got a couple things I'm going to show here. I'm going to start off with these. I ordered these and I started doing an unboxing. And when I was recording it, I opened it up and I pulled one out and I'm like, okay, here it is, blah, blah, blah. And I reached in, got the other one, and it was the same thing. The guy had actually sent me two accidentally. So let me just go ahead and show these, and I'll talk about why I bought these. I didn't even know these were out there. And I'll talk just really quick also about how cool the guy was fixing it. I bought these off eBay. So I didn't know anything about these. I just saw them on eBay while I was kind of just searching through. I cashed in 3 gift certificates through my Speedway points for gift cards for eBay. So I was just looking for something to pick up, and I saw these. So I researched, made sure they were official, which they were, and so I ordered them. So I picked up the ICP Slam Buddies. Obviously, they are a mock-up of the old WWF Wrestling Buddies, which I loved. Which is one of the reasons I ordered these. I had Ted DiBiase and the Ultimate Warrior, and years later, when I was just kind of like started collecting like some of the old retro figures and things like that of WWF, I asked my mom. I went down in our basement where we have a lot of stuff stored and it's at my folks' house. Couldn't find them anywhere, and I asked my mom, "Have you seen those?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I gave those to Goodwill a couple years ago." I'm like, "Fucking goddamn it!" So I've always been trying to replace those. Which, I mean, you can find them on eBay, but I really didn't get around to it. And then at some point, when I was dating that girl that I lived with, the girl I dated for like about 7 years, she bought me a Randy Orton one where they were like put out by the company that does the wrestling figures now, Mattel, I think. And they're the same design like this, but they're not as big. They're a little bigger than these, but they weren't as big as the old ones. And then they like made noise if you punched them and stuff like that. They would make noise. So it wasn't quite the same. I appreciate that she got me one, but so I saw these and I was like, I gotta have these. And they're apparently they made ones with like the Joker cards, the original 6 too. But I would have bought these anyway. So when I was doing the unboxing, he had sent 2 Violent J's. So I messaged him and he's like, "Oh, god damn it," because he had another set and somebody had ordered one already. And he's like, "God, if you will send that back," which of course I asked him, I'm like, "Can I send it back and get Shaggy?" He's like, "Yeah, if you will send that back," he's like, "I will refund the shipping." He's like, "I'll give you a little bit of money back." And he's like, "And I'll send the Shaggy out right away." Because he's like, "I need the J back for the other one, it's for the other order." So I sent this was like on a Saturday. So both of us sent them out Monday. It came super quick. He like, I don't think he overnighted it, but he was just in Chicago, so it wasn't like too long of a shipment. But so I got it, and then by the time they came, I just did not have time to do another unboxing, and I wanted to open it to like make sure that everything was good, and so these are fucking cool. So there's the back of them. Definitely glad to have these. Like I said, I was a huge fan of the old Wrestling Buddies. And I went to the website for these, and they make all kinds of like independent wrestlers. And I I believe Xul has, like, 'cause I've seen they'll have at their merch stand. I've seen ones that look just like this. They're Alla Xul Elu, so I'm guessing they're probably from the same company, and they make like small ones, like they call them keychain, but they're kind of like more like a backpack thing, about like that big. And Xul had those too, and so did Super Famous. So I'm thinking those are probably from the same company. But yeah, definitely cool. Definitely glad to have those, and a huge shout out to the guy that I bought them from for taking care of it so quick. And he was super cool about it, and he thanked me numerous times for being cool about it as well, because obviously it was just a mistake. So, but he took care of it right away, and I will be doing something to display these. I haven't really decided what yet, but yeah, just definitely had to have those. So now, as far as why I was out of town last week, I went to the first annual, apparently, Night of the Xuligans in Newport, Kentucky. It was about a little under a 6-hour drive, but I've never been out that way. And when I saw it advertised, I was like, that'll be fucking cool. And it was Alla Xul Elu, obviously, super famous fun time guys. There was a band called the Hooligans. And then there's SON that Luke the Goon manages, and Michigan Misfits. And there was one band that went on before the official start of the show. I apologize, I didn't catch their name, and I was waiting in line for the merch. So they sounded pretty good, but unfortunately I didn't catch their name. But the rest of the show was fucking cool as hell. The place it was at, the Thompson House, was super cool. And the trip was just fun. My friend April went with me, and I know she's not really into that style of music, but I was just like, hey, you want to go? And she's like, yeah, that sounds cool. And we were thinking we might go to the Cincinnati Zoo. And then we just kind of, as we were looking at other things to do, there was the Newport Aquarium out there. So we stayed in Florence, Kentucky, which was right by the Cincinnati airport, the hotel we were at. And also, I'm not going to throw the hotel under the bus, but we got to the hotel, and there was an issue with our room, and they took care of it super quick. That's why I don't want to like throw them under the bus and say they're a shitty hotel or anything. But I had just got a room with 2 beds. We were like sleeping in the same bed, but it was cheaper. So we get there, and we had an issue with the room, and so to make up for it, they put us in a suite and refunded one of our nights. So like we ended up saving quite a bit of money on a way better room. So huge shout out to the hotel that we were at. And the Cincinnati Zoo was about a half hour one direction, and then Newport, Kentucky was about 20 minutes the other direction. So as we were looking, there was the Newport Aquarium that has real high ratings. It's like regarded as one of the best in the best aquariums in the nation. And we're like, well, fuck it, let's go to that. So to get to Newport, it was cool because it was kind of like set way down in a ravine. So you actually had to cross the Ohio River into Ohio, and then loop right back across a smaller bridge right back into Newport. And that went like that bridge went right into downtown Newport. And Newport, I thought looked like it was going to be small. I thought it was going to be like a tiny little town, and it's not. It's pretty good size. It was still like small town, but it was like a big downtown kind of city feel. And so we find a parking garage. The aquarium was like right there. And then according to GPS, the Thompson House was like 5 minutes away. And we're like, all right, cool. We can probably just walk to the Thompson House. So we're walking out of the parking garage, and I'm like, there's the Thompson House right there. It was right directly across the street. So that worked out perfect. So we just kept the car in the parking garage all day. The aquarium was cool. And then there was a whole bunch of restaurants around there. Just had a bite to eat, and then went to the show. And again, the Thompson House was super cool. It was like an old mansion, apparently, where the guy who invented the Tommy gun was born. And so it still had like that house feel, like a mansion, giant house. And then the concert venue was downstairs. It must have been like some type of a ballroom or something. I don't know exactly what, but it was a huge venue. I mean, it was still not like a arena, but a small, on the smaller end of like a national venue. Like Twisted's going to be there at the end of the month. And so, yeah, it's really cool. Old. It was an old rundown place, but it was still cool. It was, I'd say, about half full. It wasn't, I actually expected it to be a little more full, but it was still a decent crowd, for just Xul themselves. And I kind of have a feeling they probably expected that, and that's why they picked this venue being a little on the smaller scale. But yeah, it was super cool. The crowd was fun. Great shows beginning to end. SON was cool. I'd never seen him before. Really enjoyed him. I ended up picking up his CD and had him sign it. And he was really nice. And Hooligans were not really my style, but they were cool. Michigan Misfits were pretty good. I've never seen them before, but I did check them out before on Spotify before we went. They were fun. And then yeah, Super Famous was awesome as always. And then of course Zool fucking killed it. So, and the merch was a little slim pickings too. Again, I'm guessing they probably just probably weren't expecting like a sellout crowd. So just as it was their first of this Night of the Xuligans, so it'll probably just get bigger. I don't think I'm going to go every year if it's in the same area. It's a bit of a drive, and with Hollow-Wicked that I do, but I just figured it'd be fun to go to the first one, and I had a lot of fun. So I'm going to show a few things I just picked up. All I picked up was Super Famous stuff because I didn't have any of their physical CDs. All they had was the Don't Hug Me from the Front, and then of course Mom's Not Offended, She's Concerned. This is like the double disc. I don't know if everyone is double disc, but this one was. And then again, like this one, and they didn't have any of their other stuff, so I am going to go on their website and pick up the other stuff I don't have. And then I also picked up a Super Famous shirt. Now unfortunately I wear large, and they didn't have any. All they had was extra large, so I picked it up anyway, and I've washed it and dried it. I'll wash it and dry it a few more times and get it to shrink a little bit. It still fit a little bit bigger than I prefer, but I'll still rock it. So, oh, and then also, if I can find it right down here, I'll show. Let's see if I can find it. Yep, right here, I think. Yep, picked up the SON, is Grant Us Eyes, and then had him sign it right down there. If I can get that without the glare. So, yep, he was a really nice guy. He's kind of an intimidating looking guy too, but yeah, he was super cool. I just went up and told him great show. He's like, "Oh, thanks, bro, appreciate it." Just really nice guy. So. Only drawback is unfortunately Luke the Goon ended up not being able to make it. He had some car issues, and then Joker's Gallery was trying to find someone to make the trip with because it was about 6 hours for him too, and didn't find anybody. So I was hoping they would make it out because I've met Luke before, but I've never met Joker's Gallery. I thought that'd be really cool if we could all hung out, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But we'll line something else up another time. So I had a lot of fun. Thanks to my friend April for joining me. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, definitely. I hopefully if they do it again, maybe they'll kind of move it around a little bit. Maybe it'll be a little closer. The 6 hours, like I said, it was a little under 6 hours. A little bit far to go every year when I'm also doing Hollow-Wicked at the end of the month. So we'll see how things go though. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I made the trip. So, but yeah, that's really about all I have for today. So I know this is clocking in a little bit more than I was planning on. So, but again, as always, everybody, happy October. I hope everybody is making it to Hollow-Wicked. Anybody that wants to go is making it. Bloody Sunday, of course, they do have the 2 shows now. If you want to go to Fright Fest, whatever you want to do, I hope you make it out there, and I hope you have a great month, and hit up all those haunted attractions near you and watch the horror movies and everything. So that's what I'll be doing. So, but that's about all I got. So as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting. This is Echoside Fiend, and I will catch you in the next one. Too sweet, and of course, happy October.